Targetprocess is a solution that helps organizations of all sizes scale Agile. In this demonstration, we'll be walking through how you and your teams can use Targetprocess to facilitate your remote PI planning sessions. Targetprocess is organized into a series of views that will allow us to execute on the various ceremonies needed for PI planning. Targetprocess supports all of the different components of the Scaled Agile framework out of the box. If needed, any terms or workflows can be adjusted to fit your specific company's needs. The structure of your value streams and Agile release trains will help dictate how we can roll up the information and report on it. Strategic themes will be used to make sure that the work at the team level is aligning to the top company goals. Business context and the company vision are added into the quarterly program increments. This can be shared in line with the teams and can be referred to and used when we're looking at context for resource and capacity allocation, and to share budgeting and financial information with the teams. Business agility and leadership surveys can be added to provide additional context to the teams during the PI planning. Transparency of cost and budgeting information from the strategic themes into the program increments and team iterations allows us to have full transparency for the entire organization. Having one central backlog allows us to see exactly how all of the work at the top level rolls down to the teams and how the team's work is influencing our top strategic themes. We can also align this in a portfolio roadmap to track costing and other details at any level. The workflow of the portfolio items all the way down to the team tasks can be tracked on any board. This roadmap shows us the quarterly plans we've aligned to multiple different Agile release trains. Here we can do cross-release train planning, and we can also add new program increments. By adding them in here, we're able to assign the increment, we're able to assign the product, as well as the release trains that we'll be working on. The planning of the business context and vision can be easily added into the program increment, and we can also attach them as documents. When we want to start to build out the team iterations, we can easily use automation rules to generate those iterations for every single team with the push of one button. This allows the teams to align all of their work, and we can start to do the planning as early as we want. Product teams can use feature and story mapping boards to align customer needs to the specific initiatives for the organization. We can also use this to track dependencies across that work to help us plan for potential cross-team issues. Breaking down the features, we're able to start to look at the backlog and organize the work into our weighted shortest job first categories using time criticality, business value, and risk reduction, along with job size to come up with a weighted score. We can use this score and other data points to help us understand what the top 10 features will be as we go into our program increment planning. With those features understood, we can use the what-if capacity planning for our program increment to align the work that has been assigned to the teams with our overall capacity for those teams. Using that information, this module helps us to calculate a schedule for that, and then that'll allow us to align that work to a specific roadmap. We can look at this roadmap and decide if we want to revert those changes, or we can apply this forecast as a plan, and that will adjust the beginning and end dates for those various different features. Another way to align capacity is with the type of work that the teams will be doing. Here we're aligning the business work to our enabler work to the technical debt that we want the teams to be working on for a specific program increment. The Targetprocess program boards allows your teams maximum flexibility in the amount of data that they want to see on these boards, as well as our ability to easily see, track, and add dependencies of multiple different types to the board. You can also filter this board to see one team or all team iterations for a specific program increment. Now that our features have all been planned, we can see them on a feature roadmap and even align new features into that program increment if we want to make adjustments. We can also change the priority of those information by moving them up or down on the list. Using our Roam board, we're able to track team and program risks on a board and make sure that those risks are being resolved, owned, accepted, or mitigated. The final step is making sure that we have the entire organization able to vote on and give our confidence level for a specific program increment plan. Here we're able to use our confidence vote dashboard to make sure that everyone has their vote heard. We can check the overall results as well as walk through any comments that individuals may have. The next step will be for the teams to go ahead and start to do their overall team execution. As we drop down into here, we've aligned the work to the individual program increments and we can track our features. We can also look at the program increments that we've either added or that we need to add in and make sure that the team objectives have been aligned to those program increments as well. Here we can adjust the planned business value, and when we're done, we can adjust the actual business value. That will allow the teams to see their overall program predictability score, and we can use that score to predict future performance of the individual teams and to be able to identify and help any struggling teams. Team execution can also be done at a Kanban or a Scrum level using Targetprocess. Here we're looking at a Kanban dashboard showing us the cumulative flow for the teams as well as cycle time and impediments. Teams have the ability to set up their WIP limits as well as their swim lanes for their individual Kanban boards to manage their team's work. Scrum teams will use sprint planning to go ahead and either individually move items over, or you can bulk edit by selecting multiple items and edit them all at one time. This allows teams maximum flexibility in ways they want to go ahead and align the work that they have to various sprints for the team. During the daily stand-up, teams can use the task board to track their individual tasks. For a retrospective, teams can use the retrospective with action items board to create new feedback for what worked well, what didn't work well, as well as aligning to action items for improvements. Using the program dashboard, we can track and measure the progress of individual features using something like the progress measurement report, or we can look at an overall progress measurement for the entire program increment. Here the program increment burn down is showing us how well we're doing to the ideal line as well as a forecasted line. Capacity allocation will allow us to see how well we're doing for our business enablers, and our technical debt. Capacity allocation can be managed at a team level, at an individual level, or a role level. Here we're looking at each individual and how allocated they are for a specific date and time. We can also track that for a specific role or a group of developers, designers, or quality assurance people. This will help us in making resource decisions as we look forward into the future. Now that the team has executed on all of the work, it's time to look at DevOps and see how well we've been delivering on the work we've promised to the organization. First, we can check our environment velocity and see how long it's taken us to get various work through the different stages of our environments. This allows us to track and identify bottlenecks and find out where we may need to improve on our cycle time and our lead time. We're able to track our release history as well as the builds and the work that's associated to those specific builds. By monitoring that work, we're able to bring in our specific incidents, track those incidents in terms of mean time to acknowledge, mean time to resolve, as well as our overall downtime for the organization. This information can be inputted in here into Targetprocess, or we can derive this from other sources using our automation rules. The culmination of all of this work and the planning that we've been doing can be seen here on the results monitoring dashboard. This is where we can see the efforts of all of our program increment planning, the team execution, as well as the monitoring of that work. Whether it be in performance stats or here in our utilization monitoring, we can see exactly where we've impacted the end customer and how much usage we're getting for our solution. Whether you're looking to scale just one team or an entire organization, Targetprocess is the solution to help you for all of your scaling needs. Thank you.